everyone, and welcome to That Was History. We've got a lot of great historical events for you today, including one that makes it where you can see me on the screen and I can be in this studio right now filming. I'll give you a little hint. It has something to do with this right here. Stay tuned and you'll find out.
Have you ever sat down and just worked on a math problem for hours? No? Well, maybe if you're a math whiz or a professor, you might have, and you might have come to the conclusion that there's just no answer to your question. But what if you were wrong? On October 20th of 1927, a new electrical machine was perfected by Professor Vannevar Bush. This machine could solve problems that were just too complex for human engineers. I mean, just think about that. An equation could be fed to this machine and solved in just a little over 8 minutes or a few hours. Well, on that note, I think I'm going to head out and go play some video games or something because my homework's done thanks to my handy-dandy math machine.
Think back for a second and try and picture yourself in a time frame when all you had for light was a candle. You didn't have a light bulb, and so now, as you can tell just by looking at our footage, the light wasn't very bright. But now, you can just flip on a light bulb, and there you go. On October 21st of 1879, Thomas Edison invented a commercially practical incandescent light bulb in his research facility in Menlo Park, New Jersey. If it wasn't for this invention, you would still be sitting around a fire or having to use a candle like in the scene before, and your backlights on your devices like this one wouldn't even work. So the next time you're using your light bulb, be sure to thank the man who invented this.
Have you ever looked up into the sky and seen a hot air balloon? Well, I've researched it, and to actually go up into one of these, it can be pretty outrageous, upwards of around $300 to $400. But you know, until this story, I actually didn't think about why it was so expensive to go up into one. On October 22nd of 1960, improvements were made to the hot air balloon to make them a lot safer. Ed Yost flew a balloon that was made of nylon, and propane gas was used to heat the air. This was a whole lot safer than pumping gas in or using an open flame. Also, later in the 60s, Tracy Barnes invented a parachute valve that would allow air to go out of the top of the balloon, making it a lot easier to control and a lot safer. Now this brings me to my first point that I made about it being so outrageous to go up in a hot air balloon. With all these components and all the gas that's used, there's no wonder it takes so much money to go up in a flight in a hot air balloon.
One achievement that every man has hoped to accomplish at one point or another is being able to travel through time. This has been explored in many different ways through film. Heck, even Stewie Griffin has a time machine. But today we're going to talk about a different show, Doctor Who. Doctor Who was launched on October 23rd of 1963, and it would end in 1989. It would be relaunched in 2005, however, and would feature the Doctor who could travel through time and help people in his time ship. Too bad this isn't real, though.
Today people just take advantage of these. They use them even if they aren't in need, thus it makes it very hard for the people that are in need to get their necessities. Today I'm going to be talking about food stamps. On October 24th of 1964, the Department of Agriculture expanded the program to include 41 states. Now how this program works is that a person could buy a $6 stamp for about $10 worth of food. Now this can really help someone out if they're in need. I mean, today we just take it for granted. But you know, really, if you're not in need, don't splurge on the rights. Let those in need come first so that they can have their necessities.
Chanting is one of those things that people use to express their views and values about different topics. This has been used frequently throughout history in war whenever soldiers would march. Take the charge of the Light Brigade, for example. On October 25th of 1854, this charge would begin when the British cavalry marched on the Russian forces in the Battle of Balaclava in the Crimean War. Alfred Lord Tennyson would go on to write a poem about this, and we're going to play a small segment of it for you now.
Cannon to the right of them, cannon to the left of them, cannon behind them volleyed and thundered. Stormed at with shot and shell, while horse and hero fell, they that had fought so well came through the jaws of death, back from the mouth of hell. All that was left of them left of the 600.
So here in the United States, we each have our own set of morals when it comes to sex and our partners. If you're married and you're with someone else, it's called adultery, and it's also illegal in some countries. So let's take a look at this. In Egypt, it's illegal to have extramarital sex because the Constitution states that Islamic law is the main source of legislation. Well, on October 26th of 2008, a senior civil servant and his wife were arrested, accused of switching sex partners during a swinger party. I mean, just think on that for a moment. Is this something we should put into the American law? I mean, it might cut down on the divorce rate, it might make people a lot more committed to their partners. Give us your opinion below, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can.
Well, guys, this looks like a great stopping point for this episode, but as you know, we're going to be back next Friday with more, so be sure to stop back by and check us out.
And please subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook, and also on Twitter. I'll see you next week, guys. On October 24th of 1960, I forgot the date,